What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. It has been a minute or two since I have done a sit down, a teachable moment, just a quick chit chat type video. I've been enjoying doing shorts because I've just been enjoying it. Sometimes I don't want to, sometimes I don't want to set up my camera. Anyway, so today I just want to do a quick catch up, tell y'all some stuff where I left some cliffhangers, like it is my market season. It is spring. I want to just kind of briefly tell you about some of the new pop-ups that we'll be participating in. Retirement life, what's it like with everything happening in our country and across the globe. And then kind of some business update, and not really updates, but just some reflections in lieu of everything like tariffs, all that stuff that's going on. I just want to talk about some decisions that I made early on in my business that I was kind of unsure about, and how I feel given all of those things, how I feel today. Oh, and then I also want to tell y'all about, remember I said that I was going to, that we did hire a marketing team and kind of were a part of this educational cohort type forum. I really want to tell y'all a little bit more about that. Our time with it is over, but I want to briefly touch on that. So first things first, I am getting ready. Like I just said, our market season has started. I need to stop talking with my hands so much. Our market season starts this Sunday, April 13th. Or April 12th. I think it's April 13th, whatever date this Sunday is. If you live kind of in the Charlotte metro area and you are familiar with Huntersville and Birkdale Village, there is a new market called Shop Local QC. And I am really excited about it. I am really liking the model that Shop Local QC has, simply because they do, from what I understand, they do two, like, their primary markets are in Birkdale Village and then the Bowl at Ballantyne. And I am on both of those venues mailing list. And so both of those locations talk about, we are doing this thing with this group. It's a part of us. This is when you can expect it. This is the schedule. This is the time. These are all of the things that are happening. So they are actively socializing it to their audience. So it is, when you come out to one of their markets, you planned to come out to one of their markets. You plan to shop at their markets. You plan to participate, listen to the music, eat the food, do all of the things. And you're including that market in your daily plans or whatever. So I love that idea. I love kind of that model and that approach. The other markets that do that I love really well, that we will forever continue to participate in, is anytime that the Lens Studio has something down in downtown Concord. So again, if you're not from the Charlotte area, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you are, then you definitely should be familiar with these places, or you probably are familiar with these places. And so they do a really great job. The other event that does it is Ballantyne Village. I will always prioritize Ballantyne Village in my schedule because they do such a fantastic job. And we have established a customer base as a result of the work that they do, and then it helps with the work that we would do as the vendors who participate. So our market season is opening, and we're getting ready to. We'll kick it off. Normally we kick it off with Ballantyne Village or the Lens, but this year we're kicking it off with Shop Local QC, and they're going to be in Birkdale Village, which is in Huntersville, North Carolina. This Sunday, hold on, let me check. I think it's the 13th though, for real, y'all. Yes, it's this Sunday, the 13th, and I believe it's from 11 to 4 or 12 to 4. So if you're around and you're looking for something fun and really cute to do, I highly recommend. Like, Birkdale Village is always a vibe anyway. We spend a lot of time there because I love it. So anyway, so that's my market update. Our plan is to do a couple more of the Shop Local QC events Obviously, we have Valentine Village on our schedule. So we also have them coming up on April 19th. So they're down in Valentine Village, like I said. Then we're back in Concord at the Lens, of course. And then we're back in Valentine. And then probably we'll be back in Birkdale again. So our rotation will probably really prioritize those markets for sure. This season. Okay, so jumping into the marketing group. I'm not going to say the name of the group. If you're interested in like signing up, I'm pretty sure they do signups like ongoing. Like DM me or send me a message and I'll shoot you an email and give you their information. But so let me tell you, right off the bat, I think, was it worth it? For what I wanted to accomplish, yes. What I needed was worth it. But then there are a lot of other things, like the cohort part. I am not a good cohort type person. I've never been a good classroom learner. I just learn differently. Like if there's a lot of crosstalk and information, I need a second to, the way my brain works, it's delayed. Now with menopause, child, it's delayed even more than it's normally delayed. But in good days, it is delayed. And so I've done cohorts before. And I really feel like if you're going to do a cohort I just feel like for me, what would work for me, and this is not that, it's going to work for everybody, but what would work for me is maybe an agenda. I need something tangible, physical, something. I need to be able to read something first. Like I need a head start. Like I need to kind of prep myself. I don't like just walking in cold and then you start talking and throwing information at me. And then a bunch of other people are like, oh, I have a question. Oh, this is my experience. Oh, well, I thought, well, this is how I understood it. That's so much stimulation for me and I can't handle it. So I was, I kind of checked out of like the live, sessions. I just couldn't do it. I just felt like I needed people to be quiet and not keep interrupting, stop raising your hand, asking questions, like just let the people finish the presentation. I also felt like from a presentation perspective, I felt like they knew what they were going to talk about, but because I didn't, it felt like they didn't have an agenda. So like, I felt like I was trying to figure it out, like while they were saying it, like I was digging through the mud, trying to understand what they were talking about. And it may not be because they weren't clear. Like, I don't think they weren't clear. I don't know. Something for me just didn't really connect in the live sessions. And again, I feel like it was more of all the questions in the class and the people asking and wanting. And then folks will go off on a tangent. I do it all the time. But in that setting, you going off on a tangent and talk about like your personal journey. This is not, I ain't paying for that. I don't want to hear that. So like, I just felt like that's what it was. And so I didn't do the live session. So I feel like a lot of people that gave like rave testimonials and stuff, maybe it was because they did a lot in the live session and things like that. The replays worked for me because I could slow them down. I could run them back. And so in the replay content was a lot of the marketing content that I was looking for. Because remember, I was really focused on the ad copy, creating the ads. I did not want to hire an agency to create my ads or anything like that. So I really needed to, and I don't want to do that right now. Maybe in the future, somebody else can do it because it's not fun. It's not the thing that I enjoy about my business. Honestly, there are parts of your business that are just not enjoyable. I'm a maker. I'm a creative. I love that part. My daughter says you built a whole brand around arts and crafts. Yeah, that's what I love. And the reason that I love it is because I get to teach something that is very dear to me. The operations part, I don't really enjoy. But the replay information, like their content library was great. And so I learned the most of what I'm learning, right, or have learned and now implementing. They really kind of nailed it with documenting the cheat code in those previous videos. But the live stuff, no, it's not for me. Not for me. So was it worth it? Yes. Was everything valuable? Absolutely, unequivocally, no, it was not. And will I do it again? Would I do it again? Knowing what I know today, that's tough. My immediate response is no, probably no, absolutely no. But I know that the information that I was able to get, I would have had to search for it, and they had it all packaged in libraries and labeled. And I could go and grab what I needed to grab, download what I needed to download, and I was good to go. To me, that part is priceless. I wish I could have just got that part without all the other stuff. What am I doing these days now that I've retired? Well, that is what I'm doing. Hayward Love is what I am doing all the time. And I love it. I feel like from a retirement perspective, and I know that there is so much going on in our country and in the world, it was the perfect decision to make, even in lieu of all of the things that are happening. And I can't really explain why it was the perfect decision, but it was the perfect decision. And we've just been living life, hanging out with the grandbabies. It is just so wonderful and freeing to just have kind of that flexibility to do that. And it's fun. I just so enjoy it. Like I'm a mom of 4 kidults, and I'm not a kid person. I know that sounds crazy. The grandkids, our boys, are amazing. And I love, and we just dote on just the cutest things. Our kids, when they were our kids, were equally as amazing. The grandkids are twice as amazing. I know what I just said. I was never a fan of other people's kids. Like, I'm not that person that just, oh, look at the baby, I just want to have a baby. That ain't never been my testimony. I don't look at other people having kids or, oh, you're so cute. Kids are liabilities, and I just don't enjoy being around a bunch of them. Like, it makes me nervous when kids are just like all running all over the place. Like, and I'm like, ugh, who's your human? Where's your adult? Go. You need to be watched. It's not cute to me. It freaks me out. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. Are other people like that? I don't know. I don't like see a bunch of kids and just feel joy. I feel nervous. I feel nervous anxiety. Somebody's kid's gonna fall. Somebody's kid's gonna get hurt. Something is gonna go awry. So, but being around our grandkids is a whole different vibe because they're just amazing. So that's really what we've been doing. Growing Hayward Love, hanging out with each other. I've been cooking so much more, and I just love it. Ooh, and I started working out. The working out part, it's very hard. And my body is not recovering like it was when I was younger and I was working out. Like, it's taken forever. It's taken forever to not feel sore. And so then I just don't want to work out the next day or the next day. Like, because I'm sore. When am I going to heal? But so that's what I've been doing with that. So that's been my life. Retirement has been fun. I am retired from being focused on somebody else's dreams and full-time focusing on mine. So that's the wonderful part. Oh, let's talk about these crazy tariffs. So when I started my business in 2019, I was not sure if I should like outsource to another company, like if I should, go the AliExpress, Alibaba route, and just find like manufacturers overseas and things like that. And I know that like if you are in stationery, if you own a journal, more often than not, a lot of the larger journal stationery vendors, sellers, brands, they outsource and they, get their products from China. I struggled with that. I struggled with that decision early on simply because I did not trust that everybody was telling the truth about what that process looks like. I did my research, and to me, tariffs aside, I was never sure how they would not own my creatives. Like, how would they not? You have to digitally upload your stuff somewhere else. The Chinese government and business processes are not bound by US processes and US government. So, like, what protection did I have once I uploaded my stuff to their servers? None. And then when I started hearing really large stationery brands say that their designs had been stolen and repackaged, and then people's Amazon stores were being stolen and then repackaged, and people were checking out on somebody else's page, and all of these crazy things started to happen. I was so glad that I decided that I was going to keep all of those things in-house. And so recently with the tariffs, a really large national stationery brand, national planner brand, was on the news recently saying that so much of her product she couldn't get anymore. And this was like in the last couple of days. And you've probably seen her, but she was saying, I cannot get my products. We cannot have them imported because of tariffs. There were some other things that were going on. And so it was holding up her getting a lot of items restocked. And so her business was losing, she was losing money significantly as a result of everything that's going on. Sometimes you make a decision and it's really uncomfortable and you're not really sure if it's the right decision. And sometimes you don't get validation that you're making the right decision for years. Remember, I started my business in 2019, it's 2025. I'm just now, and I've had conversations with people that were like, it's not sustainable for you to do all of these things that you're doing. It's going to be hard. It might be easier for you to, outsource and then just kind of order or do some maybe like a drop shipping type format. And I vacillated between the ideas. I've gone back and forth. And I'm just really happy that I trusted myself in all of that. And I did not, I didn't make that decision because you are kind of beholden to, if all of those things are going to work and still be available to you. Now, yes, I have, when I travel, and if I'm away for, a little bit at a time, yes, orders will come in and, I always cringe, and I'm always telling my husband like, ugh, we love getting online orders, but I hate getting online orders when I know I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, so my customers have been very understanding when I reach back out and say, we have some shipping delays, due to travel or whatever the case is. I think because I'm small, I am able to kind of, contact people and reach out, and people will understand. I also have kind of production times on my website. I always build myself in production times just for kind of the incidentals of it all. But I've never had customers like freak out because there were going to be shipping delays. And then also, like, even with like the post office, I try not to use certain carriers because I feel like other carriers have been more reliable. And then, just recently we've made some adjustments to our shipping costs and things like that. So all of those things, I'm just very, very grateful that I made those decisions early on, that I was going to kind of control what those narratives look like for my company. And I think in the beginning it was very daunting because I didn't really know what I was doing. But today, fast forward, as you see things kind of turning that are outside of your control, I'm so happy that I made those decisions so that the things that I do control, I can control, and I can continue to control them for as long as I can. It has made my life so very simple, and I'm just, I'm really proud of those decisions that I made those decisions that I made without full transparency or understanding, but I made them anyway. Sometimes trust yourself. You may not get the immediate validation that you trusted yourself, but I trust God. I trust that He has given me enough information and surrounded me with enough people to be able to make decent decisions based on the counsel that I have. And the Bible tells us, and it admonishes us to surround ourselves with good counsel and really kind of listen to that counsel as you're making decisions. And so I feel like I did that. There were a lot of people, thinking that it's better to just kind of outsource these things because everyone who talks about having a planner or journal business outsourced. And I just did not want to do that. I'm glad I made those decisions back then. I am not out of stock out of anything. We actually just restocked. We have a couple more things that we pick up, but we pick them up locally. We have our own cutter and printer and, y'all have seen all of that stuff in my office. So again, all of those things, we control that narrative. And it also helps with pricing and availability and accessibility and all of that stuff. So I'm just very happy that I made those decisions early on, even though it took like 4 or 5 years before I actually was able to see, to see that the seeds that I planted actually started to bear fruit. So the last thing, I am filming this on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'm using the microphone today only because I've never used literally this was the first time I turned the microphone on. And so hopefully I'll have to re-record this video because the microphone is connected. Even though I saw the little message, I just want to make sure. But the quality of the audio on the Osmo is so good without the microphone. Like, I really don't know why you need the microphone. It just gives you a little extra zhuzh in your video, but I love it. I love the picture quality. So they do have, you need to download the app and watch some of those beginner videos. I did anyway, because I needed to understand how to use this. And then I just found out there are your HVEC video files. Those are the real chunky ones. And so I just learned a couple weeks ago, but there's some other files and I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. But anyway, if you change the file extension to MP4, those files become smaller, but they are duplicates of the HVEC files. And so editing on those files is just a lot easier. And the quality does not change, just the file extension and the size of the file. If you get this camera, watch the videos. I don't know if this is in a video. I actually saw this. Somebody talked about it. A YouTuber, I think her name is Halise. I was watching Halise's video and she talked about it and then I forgot and I couldn't find the video. But anyway, these things you need to watch, the DJI videos, the tutorials, and then find some YouTube videos to just make sure that you're doing the right thing with this, because for me, it was a little learning curve because I have my Canon Mark III. They are not the same. They are not the same. So, but I'm filming this with the microphone. You don't need to use the microphone. You don't need to use the microphone at all. The only thing that I didn't like at first, and I didn't know that I had a way around it, the DJI comes with its own little tripod, and it's just a cute little thing. It don't do much. It doesn't give you any height or anything. But and so it has, the underside of it is it's not the phone clip, it's the screw-on that you would use for an action cam, like a GoPro. So, I don't know, one day I just had a light bulb moment and I have it sitting on my camera tripod right now and that works brilliantly. So this is the setup, which is just my DJI and my camera tripod. That's the setup that I'll probably be using at my markets. And then the camera has See, it's turned side to side. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, but I have face track enabled on it. And so I don't have to like constantly adjust it. It will, as long as it can track my image, it will follow me around wherever I am. So I'll be using this. This will be my setup for setting up this Sunday. That's it, y'all. I just brought you up from January, December. I don't know. Whenever the last time I talked to y'all. Oh, what else? I did a new branding shoot. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. So I'm going to try to get all of these videos out. The problem with me is that it's not that I don't have content to share. It's just that I need to share the content that I have. So anyway, all that I have for my quick check-in and life update and how y'all doing. I really do hope that everybody is well. If you're in the Charlotte area, remember April 13th, come hang out with us in Burkdale Village. If you stop by our booth, make sure you tell me that you are from YouTube and that you watched our video, and hey girl, hey, so that I'll know, you know, how we connected. That's it. This is where I leave you. If you stayed to the end of the video, shout out to you. Go ahead and like the video, share it with somebody else. If you're new here, subscribe and drop me a note in the comments and just say hey. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.